Rumble weekend, greatest weekend of the year. Get in, absolutely fantastic. How's everyone doing? Happy Friday night. Very unusual for me to be doing this on Friday. Sorry, I'm still fiddling about my laptop at the minute. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Yes, welcome to my Royal Rumble preview slash Monday Night Raw review slash AEW Dynamite kind of review, and actually a watch along of the Smackdown taping from Saudi Arabia, which has already been and gone, that I have missed, unfortunately. So I'm actually, as we speak, watching Smackdown, and for some reason I'm watching Pat McAfee holding up a phone with Brock Lesnar, confirming he's in the Royal Rumble. Well, that's very disappointing. I'm not really sure why they've done that for. Anyway, so yeah, basically, just to let you guys know, as per usual, if you've never seen the show before, you can watch it on YouTube podcasts and YouTube video. Hopefully, it will be ready to download and watch as a little Royal Rumble preview. Fingers crossed for you. Probably about midday tomorrow, I would have thought, but I will post the link as soon as it's done. In fact, that reminds me, I'm going to post that I'm on now on Reddit. If you'll just give me 1 second. Yes, so actually, yeah, I am actually on Reddit as well. Sorry, I'm a bit all over the place, guys, at the minute. It's been a very, very long day today. Yes, I am actually on Reddit as well. Under what am I under? Geeks of Wrestling, Geek Store, Liverpool Geek Story, and I'll just say another channel, slightly more political based, but there we go, as you can see from here. Yeah, so it's Royal Rumble weekend this weekend. Like I said, they've just had the Smackdown taping in Saudi. Yeah, like I said, let me just, there we go. Yeah, no, I love the Royal Rumble. I think I actually now prefer it to WrestleMania a little bit. I just love the whole Rumble match. It is just, yeah, it's like the funnest thing in the world, isn't it? Like wrestling wise. Fields wide open in the men's and the women's. I mean, I think I've got an idea who's going to win, but I'd say this is probably one of the most unpredictable ones that we've maybe ever had, to be honest. I mean, I've got 5 or 6 of the men that I'll get along to in a second, and again 5 or 6 of the women that I reckon there's as many as 12 winners between the men's and the women's rumbles, but we'll get into all that into a minute. Just very quickly, as you guys know, I usually cover Monday Night Raw and AEW Dynamite. Unfortunately, long story short, I've not been able to do it for work, family, and just ridiculous nonsense reasons. So I'll just go into a little bit of what's happened in the week, and then I will talk a bit about the Royal Rumble as well. Do some predictions. I have written like a boatload of stuff to talk about, but so yeah, obviously on Raw we had the AJ Styles and CM Punk match. Absolutely golden, brilliant match. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And it was for the world title. I mean, look, AJ was never going to win, obviously, but it was still a really good match. Obviously, you've got the whole intrigue with what's going to happen with Styles tomorrow. I really hope he's not going to retire. Obviously, everyone knows that AJ is due to retire, and I think it's odds on that he probably is going to retire. But I'll be absolutely gutted. I mean, I've been watching AJ Styles for 20 years, maybe 19 years, something along the lines. First saw him in TNA back in the day when they used to do like the weekly PLEs and stuff. And yeah, he's just one of the greatest of all time, isn't he? So I really hope AJ can pull it off, but I have a feeling that Gunther is probably going to go over, but I'll get to that in a minute. There was a really good women's tag team match as well. So you had the Judgment Day, who was it? Rhea, Io, and Steph the Care. That was really awesome. By the way, bit random, really big shout out to Raquel Rodriguez. The way that woman has come along has been absolutely superb. I think she's credit to herself. She's really fantastic. She's adding character and she's adding depth to it now as well. So shout out to Raquel and Roxanne Perez. I really enjoy her work. And yeah, Finn Balor. Talk about a push all of a sudden. Obviously he ends up attacking CM Punk at the end. Oh, let me just have a look. Can't read the name. I can read P1S. I'll call you P1, mate, because I can't see the name, unfortunately. Hi, how you doing? You're all right. Um, Also, as well, I'm really, really pleased about Natalia becoming Natty Neidhart. So obviously she's had that gimmick in Bloodsport and on the Indies and stuff, but it looks like they are going to now do it in WWE, which is awesome. Really, really looking forward to that. What else? I'm literally just looking at my notes. Gunther did a promo on with Michael Cole, which was like, nah, okay, fair enough. Um, I don't think Raw was actually amazing, guys. To be honest, it was all right. Like I said, the AJ Styles and CM Punk thing was basically the main thing. Um, Let me just have a look. Yeah, so basically that was most of Raw. So obviously we left Raw in a situation where Finn Balor was basically told he was not in the Royal Rumble, which is just because there's no more space for Finn Balor, and he's just like, seriously, what are we doing here? That's just ridiculous. Let's have a look. Javid, how you doing, Javid? How you doing, my friend? You all right? Hello to both of you. But yeah, Balor basically left AJ, well, not lying in the ring, but he attacked Punk, attacked AJ as well. And yeah, he stood tall at the end. So, I mean, he's certainly put his name in the conversation. Now, do I think Finn Balor's going to be a surprise entrant at the Royal Rumble? Yes. Do I think Finn Balor realistically is going to win the Royal Rumble? I don't know. I wouldn't have thought so in a month of Sundays, to be honest. But I'm just wondering if they're positioning Balor. So obviously you've got Roman coming back, you've got Brock coming back, so they're going to take up a lot of TV time and so on and so forth. Um, so maybe they're building Balor up to basically be Punk's challenger or be Cody's challenger or whoever after the legends have gone back, basically, because obviously Roman's on a part-time schedule and so is Brock Lesnar. Yeah, and maybe that's it, basically, because obviously WWE is going to need new stars at some point. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, just very quickly, Monday Night Raw was okay. Not best Raw I've ever seen, and it was just made by AJ Styles and CM Punk. And if that's the last Monday Night Raw that AJ Styles is on, I guess on behalf of the wrestling world, I'd just like to say thank you, AJ Styles. You've been an absolute credit to the business. I don't want you to retire, and obviously I know he's going to have to retire at some point, but I am genuinely going to miss AJ Styles so much, and I hope he doesn't retire, but you know, we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, that was Monday Night Raw leading into tonight. I'm currently watching Smackdown, guys. As I say, I missed it earlier. Obviously, I'm recording this from England, and it was actually on at 5 o'clock in the afternoon our time. If you're watching from abroad, so I'm rewatching it now. I haven't seen any of it at all. We've just had Rhea Ripley come out and get into it with Nia Jax by the looks of it. Yeah, so I'm actually watching this along now, so I'll let you know what's happened. We've just had Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss are coming out now as well. I'm guessing they're going to be in a tag team match. Just very quickly for those of you who are AEW fans, first of all, in fact, swig of water for the working man. By the way, guys, those of you who do watch me occasionally, you know I usually say this is water. It's been a very difficult day today. This is not water. Spoiler alert. Yeah, those of you who watch Dynamite, because a lot of you listen to it as a podcast after I've done a live, can I just really apologise to all the AEW fans who follow me? I literally haven't watched Dynamite up until today for about a month. I've got no idea what's going on. I just haven't had time, unfortunately, with work and recording and this, that, and the other. So yeah, I am looking to try and get back into it and do a bit more coverage on AEW, but it might have to be mixed in with WWE a little bit. So, yeah, apologies for that. But I've watched Dynamite this evening. It was really good, as per usual. Loved the opening match with Kenny Omega and Rocky Romero. It was really, really good. I loved the segment with Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega, and Swerve Strickland. I really like the fact there's all these challenges for MJF. Obviously, Dynamite's got way better now. You've got all the star names back. Obviously, Will Ospreay's on his way to recovery as well. so we should be getting Will Ospreay back, I think, maybe for Revolution, the big AEW pay-per-view. At worst, he should be back for All In London, because, I mean, look, Will has definitely got to win a belt at All In. By the way, I should be getting my tickets for All In. I think they come out reasonably soon. Another cheap plug, if you go onto my playlist, all my wrestling stuff is under Geek Boy Does Wrestling. So I've got videos from AW All In 2023, 2024. Forbidden Door, which I went to last year. I've got vlogs from WWE in Leeds and Sheffield, and Rev Pro as well, which is UK promotion for you guys that don't know. I'm hopefully going to be seeing WWE again in April if they come over, which I'm guessing they are going to. Because they usually do like a WrestleMania revenge tour or something like that in the UK. So I'm hoping to get tickets for that as well. But I'll definitely be at AEW, but I will let you guys know more about that when I get the tickets. Let's have a look. John Moxley beat Ace Austin. That was an okay match. Elcon lost to Briscoe to be Mark Briscoe. To be honest, I don't know a great deal about Elcon, to be honest at all. But it was really, really good. It was a really, really good match, actually. I'll have to watch a bit more of him. Love the promo segment between MJF and Brody King. Obviously, I'm a bit of a Brody King fan, as you can see from there. Yes, so I'm looking forward to that as well. It looks like they're going to have a match in Australia, because AEW's got a pay-per-view from Australia. I think it's AEW Grand Slam or something like that. So that should be on Amazon Prime, I think, in, what is it, 2 weeks or something like that. Really good thing was the time difference with Australia. I think it should be on in the UK at about midday. Obviously, I will cover that as well. I'm definitely covering the Royal Rumble tonight. Honestly, I'll be covering the Royal Rumble tomorrow as well, so I should be on for live reaction to that about 11 o'clock at night in the UK. So yes. What else happened on AEW Dynamite? Can I just recommend, if you don't watch Dynamite, to watch Chris Statlander versus Tekla? Now, Tekla is a... Oh, let me have a look. Lily. Hi, Lily. How you doing? You all right? If you don't watch Dynamite, do yourselves a favour. If you go on AEW, their page on YouTube, if you just look at Chris Statlander versus Tekla, it's my favourite match of the year so far. Best match I've seen. It was absolutely fantastic. Shout out to Tekla. If you've not seen her, do yourself a favour and basically go and watch her matches, because she's absolutely brilliant. She's got like a whole spider gimmick, which is really creepy and quite foul-mouthed as well, and a bit sarcastic, a bit like me. So yeah, definitely go and watch it. Chris Statlander went over in the end. I was gutted because I absolutely love Tekla and I hope she gets a run with the belt. But it was a really, really good match. A shout out to both women for that. Chris Statlander is, honestly, she's improved so much the last few weeks and months. And I'm actually quite enjoying her title reign. I think she's been really, really good so far. So yeah, that was really, really good as well. Lily, I'm good. I'm glad you're good, Lily. I'm good as well. Just sitting here watching some wrestling, talking about the Royal Rumble, having a bit of a drink. I've got Smackdown on in the background. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. What else happened in AEW? Much to my surprise, Andrade actually beat Swerve Strickland. Now, Andrade, as most of you guys will know, who are WWE fans, basically got, well, depending on who you ask, got fired for taking substances that aren't necessarily legal, we'll just say. And he's ended up on AEW. Had a really good match against Swerve, hit him with a nut shot, and he's actually beat Swerve Strickland. Try again. He's actually beat Swerve Strickland, which I was very, very surprised about. But what that means for Swerve, I don't know. But basically, Andrade, Hangman Page, and Kenny Omega have to... See, I'm not totally sure about it. I think they've got to have a load of matches between them or something, and then whoever wins out of all of them will be facing MJF at Revolution, which is usually, I want to say, mid-March, so maybe in about 4 or 5 weeks. You'd imagine it's going to be Kenny Omega. I would have thought the way that the wins have changed with AEW, but we'll have to wait and see. But I don't expect MJF to lose that belt for a long time. I mean, my prediction is probably for Will Ospreay to eventually get the belt in London, because that basically AEW London is now AEW's biggest pay-per-view. Like I said, if you've not been to see him at Wembley, it was really, really good. Like the first year, there was like 80 odd thousand people. Second year, they still pulled in about 60,000. It was so, so good. The Forbidden Door one was really good, actually, but I wasn't a massive fan of the O2. I don't know if anyone's ever been to the O2 Arena. I think the O2 Arena sucks. I don't know. There's just something about it that wasn't my cup of tea. You can't get a bloody drink for a start off. So, there we go. Yum banana milk. Yeah, yes, Lily. Banana milkshake. Not quite. Not quite. Rum and black. Oh, actually, for YouTube purposes, it's water, obviously. Let's have a look. Cole Palmer edits. Yo, how you doing, mate? You all right? I'm guessing you're a Chelsea fan. I think you can guess who I'm a fan of. Yes, welcome, Cole Palmer. How you doing? I'm assuming it's not the real Cole Palmer. Yeah. So, excuse me, folks. Sorry, I've got a bit of a tickly cough as well at the minute. Yeah, and obviously SmackDown, like I said to you guys, I'm currently watching it at the minute. So Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss are facing. Let's have a look. Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan. So obviously, like I said, this was I think this got recorded like a couple of hours ago. So I'm still watching SmackDown at the minute. So I'm not. I can't really give you much detail about SmackDown. I've just seen Randy Orton come out. Jey Uso. Who else was it? Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes, and they're having a tag. Well, they've had a tag team match against the Vision, so that'll be a good main event. And yeah, I'm just watching it now. So there we go. Lily, yeah, sup, Cole Palmer. Oh, do you two know each other? So yeah, folks. Basically, that was the week in wrestling. Like I said, I'm really, really sorry for the people that regularly watch me. I will try and get back to what doing Monday Night Raw live reaction, which is usually on Tuesday. AEW Dynamite reaction is usually on Thursday, and then I usually do Friday Night SmackDown on Saturday night, basically. So it should be back to regular programming, but obviously I won't be doing SmackDown tomorrow because basically I'll be doing live reaction for Monday Night Raw, which is going to be Monday Night Raw. Sorry, the Royal Rumble, which, as you may have guessed, I cannot wait for. Honestly, I'm like 45, and you think I would have grown out of this by now, but I'm literally so excited for the Rumble. I cannot wait. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Speaking of the Rumble, so getting to predictions. So basically, I've gone through all the matches. I'm a bit obsessed with wrestling, as you might have guessed. So I write about it, watch it, do articles on Substack. I'm also Geek Boy on Substack if you want to read any of my articles ever. And I've been desperately trying to work out predictions for the Rumble, and I've come up with like a million different options and this, that, and the other. So I'll go for everything in a second. Let's have a look. I, excuse me again, folks. Good grief. I'm very, very sorry. How's your day going? Like I said, Lily, not too bad, unless you're asking Cole, of course. So yeah, we'll start off with the first match. So your first match is Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. Now, I've been back and forth with this for a couple of weeks now, ever since Sami Zayn qualified. It's not very good for a prediction show, but generally, I haven't got a clue what's going to happen here, to be honest. My gut says that Drew McIntyre will beat Sami Zayn, and I think the issue for Drew and Sami is that I think people would be pleased if, say, if it was Cody Rhodes versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania, or if it was Drew McIntyre against, say, Randy Orton, and so on and so forth. Because Drew McIntyre's on fire at the minute. He's been absolutely brilliant, literally for a lot. I mean, Drew McIntyre's been brilliant since he turned heel a couple of years ago. I think he's just a phenomenal, pardon the pun, professional wrestler. I'm so pleased for him. He's got the title back. My one thing for Drew would be, and Sami Zayn to a certain extent as well, are they as big as a draw as a Roman Reigns, a Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and a Brock Lesnar? And unfortunately for Drew, the answer is no, which does make me wonder, will he actually get to WrestleMania as the champion? I would very much like him to, because I think he does deserve it. But obviously WWE's they've got to worry about their bottom line at the end of the day, and they've got to worry about attracting crowds. So if you have, say, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, and your other match is Drew versus, I don't know, like Jey Uso or something on them lines, maybe. It's not a letdown or a disappointment, obviously, but you're probably going to want an equally weighted title match. You're going to want something like a Brock Lesnar versus a Cody Rhodes or something like that, because that sells tickets. Does Sami Zayn against Cody Rhodes do it as much? I don't know. So I'm probably going to go with Drew McIntyre to win this, but I've got a horrible feeling that Drew McIntyre loses the belt at something like Elimination Chamber and gets screwed out yet again. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre to win and get as close to WrestleMania as he possibly can do. Have you? I meant, have you ever had a? Ever had a? Sorry, Lily, I can't quite read that from here. Have I ever had a VR? Sorry, I'm not sure what that is. Apologies. It might just be my glasses. I'm like blind as a bat, basically. Very old man, unfortunately. Yeah, so your next main match. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do in terms of the match order. I would have thought you're probably looking at the Women's Rumble first, then maybe you do Sami Zayn, then it's AJ Styles, and then it's the Men's Royal Rumble. Perhaps, I don't know what in order they'll do in. I've got absolutely no idea, but we'll have to wait and see. But that's what I would suspect it would be. So, just going into the AJ Styles one, like I was saying earlier, I think realistically Gunther will win. And as I say, I'm absolutely gutted because I've been watching AJ Styles since 2007, I think, something along them lines. It's nearly 20 years now. He's one of the best professional wrestlers I've ever seen. Obviously, he has said he wants to retire. Maybe he's just doing a Cena again. Maybe he's putting Gunther over for the good of the business. I don't know. I really hope that that's not the case. And I really hope Styles can stick around at least till WrestleMania, because I think he deserves it. But yeah, if that's his decision, that's his decision. But we'll have to wait and see. In terms of the match, I mean, it could go either one of both ways, to be honest. I mean, obviously, if Gunther was to lose to Styles, that would suggest to me that he's then going to enter the Royal Rumble and win. So I think if AJ Styles beats Gunther, Gunther basically wins the Royal Rumble. I'm pretty certain of that, to be honest. If Gunther wins the match against AJ and then enters the Royal Rumble straight afterwards, I would have thought that's probably going to mean that AJ Styles then gets involved in the Rumble. Now, obviously, there's a whole thing from that as well. I mean, can you imagine if AJ Styles won the Rumble after being retired by Gunther, because then he'd have to have the title shot at WrestleMania? I was thinking they could maybe do something like that as well, but yeah, no, it's very intriguing. It's very good how WWE have done it, because genuinely, guys, I've got absolutely no idea what's going to happen. Oh, here we go. Okay, Jordan Grace is just being attacked by Jade Cargill, and they're now beating each other up, wearing shiny silver suits for some reason. I'm not sure about that, but there we go. Oh, they are beating each other up. there we go. So I don't know if Jay Cargill and Jordan Grace are going to face each other tonight. Maybe they might even do it at the Rumble tomorrow. I don't know. Because there's only 4 matches advertised. In short, I'm going to go for AJ Styles to lose and be retired. But I just think there might be a caveat to it. One of the other things I was thinking was, obviously he's got to retire from WWE. Doesn't necessarily mean he has to retire from wrestling as a whole. AJ was recently on TNA. As recently as 2 weeks ago. I'm just wondering, maybe he goes to TNA and says, "Well, I'm not retired from here," and maybe he's going to work with the young. Maybe he's going to work with the young crew there. I don't know, but that's what would be my prediction. So I'm going to go with AJ Styles, unfortunately, to retire. Now, in terms of the women's match, just bear me a second. Oh, that's damn good water, that. Yeah, in terms of the women's Royal Rumble, so I've gone through the list. I think Tiffany Stratton will return. I think Bianca Belair will return. I think your favourites, obviously, you've got Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, possibly Alexa Bliss, but I can't imagine she's going to get the win. Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan. Now, I don't think it'll be Raquel Rodriguez because she's got a match on Monday Night Raw against Steph Fakir for the title, funnily enough. So I don't expect a Raquel. I can't see it being Charlotte Flair either because I think she's won 2 Rumbles now already. So that gets. And I don't think it'll be Becky Lynch. And the reason I say it won't be Becky Lynch is because I'm also expecting AJ Lee in the Royal Rumble. I can see both of them doing like a Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels from many years ago where they both knocked each other out of the Rumble. So I think AJ will be in it. I think she'll knock Becky Lynch out, and I think Becky Lynch will do something like throw AJ Lee out or something like that. And then I suspect they might do the Intercontinental title match at WrestleMania, and I suspect that it'll be Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. So taking those guys out, that gets you down to what? Tiffany Stratton, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky. Now, I've heard lots of rumours about Rhea Ripley and Io Sky maybe being the main event, which is probably the way to go because they've been the best two women on the roster, probably. Other than Becky Lynch, who was brilliant last year with the way she put a lot of those girls over. I think. Oh, here we go. Who was more unsafe, Goldberg or Ryback? Well, I'm him because I'm not calling you that name ever. Who was more unsafe? To be honest, mate, you'd probably have to go for Goldberg, wouldn't you? Because I mean, just because look, I was a massive Bret Hart fan. Not he wasn't like my favourite wrestler or anything, but I really, really respect Bret Hart. Like the body of work that he put out, he was absolutely fantastic, top draw pro wrestler, great, really underrated promo as well. I liked Bret's promos. I loved when he turned as a Canadian heel back in the Attitude Era days. Yeah, and he was the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. And he was called that for a reason. He was a top draw professional wrestler. And what Goldberg did to Bret, look, I know he's apologised since. I don't want to get into this because there'll probably be loads of wrestling fans that disagree. I find Goldberg's apologies to be quite disingenuous because, like, he says, "Well, I've apologised to him, but hey, if he wants to be immature," and then he's got a little smirk on his face. It's like, mate, you ended his career. It's not really funny. And like, as soon as Bret did that, obviously he had a shitload of health problems, and then obviously he had his what happened with his brain and everything. He's not really recovered. So, I mean, Bret's doing well, so fair play to him. But like, I think Bret retired when he was probably about Cody Rhodes' age. I mean, theoretically, Bret Hart could still be wrestling now. I mean, but obviously you don't want him wrestling when he's like 63, 64 years old of age. But he could have retired about 10 years ago. That's how good Bret was. So, yeah. Ryback, on the other hand, mate, I mean, I don't know if you ever saw the podcast, the famous podcast with Colt Cabana and CM Punk, where Punk was basically telling Kebab, this is why they were still friends, obviously they absolutely despise each other now, but he was telling the story about Ryback unsafe, and like Punk went absolutely mental with him, and he said, "Are you just unsafe or stupid?" Then this was Punk doing the impression of Ryback. He literally went, "I'm stupid." Honestly, I was eating my dinner at the time and literally spag balls flying out of my mouth. It was one of the funniest things I've ever ever heard in my entire life. Ryback did look. He did look a bit unsafe to me, to be honest. But no, I'd probably have to go with Goldberg, because I mean, it's not just Brett. I mean, Bill has. And it's no disrespect to Bill, don't get me wrong, he's a Hall of Famer, and he's obviously he's one of WCW's originals. He's one of the guys I grew up with, and look, whatever you think about Bill goes wrestling, he's one of the biggest names in the industry, and fair play to him, he had a fantastic career. At the time that he just wasn't trained, unfortunately. He was an American football player. He went in to hit people hard, and that's what he did with Brett. Now, should he have done it with Brett? No, but if you don't train the fella, these accidents happens. But look, the Goldberg streak was still one of the greatest gimmicks in wrestling history. The way they did that up until the point where he beat Hogan in Atlanta in, when was it now? 2000, was it? It might be 99 or 2000, I can't remember. It's about 25 years ago. If you've not watched it, guys, by the way, for the younger crew, just watch Hulk Hogan versus Bill Goldberg. It's not a scientific masterpiece, I'll warn you by any stretch, but just the Georgia Dome, like there was about 50,000 people in there, went absolutely mental. It's one of the loudest pops I've ever heard at a pro wrestling arena. It was a great spectacle, but there we go. Even shout out to Hulk Hogan. Begrudgingly, but there we go. Let's have a look. Do you remember when Brock Lesnar fought Satgat? I do, mate, I do. I watched that, dude. In... Oh, crikey, when was that? I think I was at university at the time. Was it about 2003? Have I got that right? The timeline's a bit all over the place. In that era, partly for the fact I was pretty much a drunk student and then turned into a drunk mid-20s to late to late 20s. I was one of those that left the party very late. It's the only thing I'll say, but there we go. Hey, Depression Talk, how you doing? You alright? Nice to see you again, dude. I like your fresh trim, by the way, DT. Lovely fresh trim. New dressing gown as well, by the looks of it. I did actually catch you the other day. And because of my stupid brain, DT, I can't even remember what you were talking about at all. I don't mean that disrespectfully towards you, but I literally, I've still got a brain like a sieve. I'm getting better than I was, but there's still stuff going into the brain that's then just flying out of my head, basically, which is not great when you're doing this sort of thing, obviously, but there we go. There we go. Let me just have a look. But yeah, I'm him. When was the Zach Gowen match now? I want to say it was about 2004, 2005, maybe. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, I remember that. It was absolutely brutal. Fair play to Zach Gowen for I would say the sell job that he did, but it wasn't really a sell job. I think Brock Lesnar legitimately absolutely beat the living crap out of him, to be fair, but there you go. We meet again. I'm growing it back, good man. No, not a new dressing gown. Oh, I'm sorry, DT. It just looked like a new one that you had, to be honest. You need to get one of those pink robes that Dave LaGreca wears on Busted Open. You can't beat the pink robe, dude. Apparently it's in fashion for blokes these days. I'm an old man. I don't get the young people dressing, but there we go. What's your opinion? Have you said his name yet? I have not, DT, and I have no interest in calling I'm him his new quite hilarious but unpronounceable name ever in the history of the world. So there we go. Mind you, one day I am going to end up like watching a Liverpool match or something, coming back 3 sheets to the wind, doing a live reaction. I will end up saying it, I'm sure, but there we go. By the way, I did. Very quick apologies for anyone who saw any of my videos the other day after the Liverpool match. Let's just put it this way: I went out with my brother to watch it at a public house. I can just about remember making some of the videos. To be fair. There we go. It probably wasn't the best idea of that, but yeah, up the road. There we go. What's your opinion on the Montreal screw job? What is in real or not real? Dude, it was it won't work. That was a shoot. Definitely a shoot. There's no way that you could. I get the whole theories about it being a work, because if you look at what happened, obviously Brett leaves, Stone Cold Steve Austin takes up the mantle. Basically, Stone Cold Steve Austin, essentially not Stone Cold, not on purpose, obviously, but he basically, his popularity, for want of a better phrase, puts WCW out of business. Now, could it have been planned and a work? Could Brett be in it? Could Shawn be in on it? Could they have made some secret pact that they're never going to talk about until the day that they die? I mean, it's possible. I wouldn't. I just don't. I just don't think so. But I think that's just one of those wild wrestling conspiracy theories. I could be wrong. Maybe I am wrong. But I think it's a legit shoot. I just don't think it's I don't think it's work. Now, what's my opinion on it? I think it's still to this day. Let's. He nearly got me, DT. He nearly got me. Fair play to you, mate. You very nearly got me then. You very nearly got me. That's what my missus calls me, actually. Oh my god, I hope she's not watching it on her phone. If I was going to say, lads, if you stay on, you might see a live murder if you're lucky. No, I'm sure she's not watching now. She's probably long gone to sleep. But yeah, Mr. Him. Now, what do I think about the Montreal screw job in general? I think it's foul, and I still maintain that to this day. Could Brett have behaved better? Yes. You can't refuse not to do a job. That's the one thing I can say. At the end of the day, whatever you think about WWE and the way that Brett was treated, you can't be having some fella just waltzing out with your belt, because that's what happened with Alundra Blaze. The famous thing where she got the belt, came over from WWE, went to WCW, then dropped it in that trash can. So you can't be having Brett refusing to do a job for his employees who are his employees. At the same time, Brett offered to do the job. He just said not in Canada, and Vince, looking back on it, in my opinion, should have just not done it in Canada. He should have basically. They all should have said, because I think Brett offered to do the job in Detroit the next night, funnily enough, because obviously Detroit's not a million miles away from where they were in Canada. I think he's literally quoted as saying, "Look, I will do the job on Monday Night Raw on my last night, and then Shawn can have the belt," or they could have done it. I mean, the thing is with Brett as well. Sorry, I'm waffling on a little bit now, but they had so many chances to get Brett to drop the belt. I mean, if they'd said to Brett, "Look, 3 or 4 months later, like, we're taking the belt off you on a random Monday Night Raw in Texas or something like that," at that stage he probably would have been fine, whatever, you know what I mean? But yeah, what Vince did, even though it changed the business forever, I think it's banged out of order. I don't blame, fully enough, Shawn Michaels as much. Obviously, Shawn at that point I was going to say he was a bit like me. I wasn't quite as bad as Shawn Michaels, to say the least. I had my moments when I was in my mid-20s, put it that way. I liked having fun back in the day. I think we'll just leave it at that. And Shawn's obviously developed as a human being. Obviously, he's a born-again Christian and so on and so forth. He's really, really turned his life around, and fair play to the bloke. But at that time, pardon my French, but Shawn Michaels was a conceited arsehole, basically. And he would have sold his own mother down the river for a title shot, essentially. Um, but I don't blame him as much because Sean was not in a good place at the time. I mean, he was like, I mean, basically, it was a wreckhead Sean at one point. So I don't blame him as much. I don't really blame Earl Hebner because it's like, what is he meant to do? If Earl Hebner had turned around and said, "Well, I'm not doing that," Brett's my friend Vince would have said, "Yeah, you're fired then." Patterson and Briscoe, did they know? No. I mean, you hear all sorts now because I mean, I'm sure Jim Cornette's come out and said, I don't know if he said he knew. I think there's some suggestion that Vince Russo's now saying that he knew, and there was a couple more people that are saying I didn't know. And I did. Look, we're never going to know at all, to be honest. I don't think Bruce Pritchard knew either. I don't think Jim Ross knew him. He looked actually like, unless Jim Ross did the ultimate sell job on comms, there is no chance that he knew about that, in my opinion. So that was a long-winded way, Mr. Him, of saying I thought it was an absolute disgrace, to be honest. To treat someone in that manner who's worked his balls off for your company is beyond poor. But Brett, at the same time, could have handled it slightly better initially, is what I would say. But there we go. It's only the older I get I realise what I thought was bad wrestlers are actually great sellers. Spike Dudley is what. Oh, dude, Spike, yeah. In terms of selling, was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, one of the ones. I want to say it was against The Undertaker. And I think Taker's spoken about this on his podcast, and he was just like, Spike just said, "Oh, do whatever you want to be." And Undertaker's literally like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's fine. I think Spike Dudley's one of those weird people he's got no pain. Obviously, he feels pain, but he's got a really high pain tolerance. And I think Taker, I can't remember exactly what he did, but I think he got him and threw him from like the top rope straight into the announce desk. He landed on top of his head or something like that. It was absolutely outrageous. Sorry, swig of water. But yeah, I definitely agree, mate. Spike in terms of selling. It's a bit of a weird sell, but I used to love the way that God rest his soul, Scott Hall. The way he sold the Stone Cold Stunner was brilliant. Absolutely. I know a lot of people said it was exaggerated. I think it was brilliant. I think the only person, funnily enough, I've seen someone sell a Stone Cold Stunner better than that in recent years was Austin Theory. When he stunned, when Austin stunned Austin in WrestleMania about 4 years. Who was God rest his soul, Eddie Guerrero. He was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Um, Sami Zayn, very good at selling, in my opinion. Obviously Cody, I mean, it goes without saying, top draw seller. Oh, here we go. AJ Styles is now on Smackdown, which I'm watching. Obviously, I can't have the volume up for obvious reasons because I don't want to get sued by WWE if I can help it. But yeah, no, Eddie Guerrero, mate, was brilliant. I mean, yeah, God rest Eddie's soul. He was just he was, what a shame. What a shame. To be fair, looking back on it now, Cena was pretty decent. Not in terms of the moves, but just in terms of the way that he Cena would sell for people when he felt inclined. Yeah, and like you said, I'm him. It's a lot of the older people. It's one of the. I am going to sound like a very old man now, but it's I don't like this rushing of wrestling now. The whole point of it is to sell, and I didn't realise when I was a young man because, like, obviously in the Attitude Era, you just wanted to see blokes hitting each other with steel chairs and um, attractive women, shall we say, wandering around in next to nothing, and you wanted to go out with your lads and have a few bits. Me and the lads just used to watch. I used to love watching it in Derby back in the day. It was such a good time in my life. So, me and one of my best mates from back home, we'd literally go out to this place called Sadlergate in Derby, which was like where all the nightclubs were and stuff. And we would go. You had them bars back in the day when they were like, there weren't nightclubs, but they'd be open till about 12:30, and then you come home and you think, oh well, I've had a decent night, but I've got away at like a decent time, and we'd always get back for 1 o'clock in the morning, either his house or my mum's house, and we'd get a crate of beer from shops in Derby who, how to put this, um, took the um, took the guidelines of opening and shutting more of as a guideline than an actual law. We'll just put it like that. And we'd buy like a 24 pack of beer, and we'd literally just sit there raising hell and this, that, and the other. My mum would come downstairs and tell us both to shut the something up sometimes. It was awesome. I loved it. I do really miss it, to be honest, but that was the 90s. So there we go. When Santino sold it as well. Oh, yeah. That was awesome. That was awesome when he's did the stunner. Did the stunner. Took the stunner. Yeah. I think we can safely say that Vince McMahon was the worst stunner bumper, as Chris Jericho once said. I mean, honest to God. The one that he took in Madison Square Garden, bearing in mind what a huge moment that was, he was just like, what is that? Seriously. The milk truck when Kurt Angle was an iconic moment. Oh, yeah. I remember that because it was just, it was like a piss take of when Austin sprayed everyone with beer. And that thing when Vince and shit, as much as I'm not a massive fan of Vince these days for obvious reasons, that bit when Vince McMahon was swimming through the beer was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. It was brilliant. No, dude, honestly, the attitude era, I could go on for hours, mate. I could go on for hours. It was just such a brilliant time. It, to the point where, obviously, me and the lads knew it wasn't. We all knew it was work, obviously, but there were sometimes you would watch the Attitude Era and you'd get so caught up in it that you were just like, I know this is meant to be a work, but that looked really real, to be honest. But yeah, no, it was a great time, dude. Absolutely great time. Just getting back very quickly, folks, to the people who will be listening on the podcast. Just very quickly, the Women's Royal Rumble. I'm actually going to go with Bianca Belair to win. I think Bianca comes back as a special surprise, and I think she wins the whole thing. My very, very, very unlikely. Oh, here we go. Gunther versus AJ. Yeah, Gunther's just run off and chickened out. My reaching surprise for someone coming back for the Women's Royal Rumble is Ronda Rousey. I know it's not going to happen. I absolutely know it's not going to happen, but I have been. It's just one of these daft wrestling theories I've had for a while. This whole feud that Ronda seems to have with WWE seems to be very. I'm not accusing Ronda Rousey of lying by any stretch of the imagination. Look, she's a badass woman at the end of the day. She speaks about. Personally, I know a lot of people don't like Ronda. I've got a lot of time for Ronda. I think she's a top bird. To be fair to her, and yeah, I think she was absolutely fantastic back in the day. Whatever anyone thinks of UFC and this, that, and the other, and saying Amanda Nunes is better, and she probably is. Look, but there would be no women's UFC without Ronda Rousey. It's as simple as that. So top woman for me. I'm just wondering whether it's a bit of shit talking to keep a surprise away. Maybe Ronda won't return. I don't know, but I reckon we'll get Trish Stratus. I wouldn't be surprised to see Lita, maybe Kelly. My random prediction for those of you who are AEW fans, I reckon Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, debuts tomorrow. Because it's just gone completely cold. I haven't heard DMD for months and months and months. I reckon her contract's already up, and I think she debuts tomorrow on the Rumble. Now, I could be really wrong about that. I don't know, but that's what I would expect anyway. So I'm going to go with Bianca Belair to win the Rumble and then go on to face Jade Cargill. I wouldn't be surprised, obviously, if she's healthy, fingers crossed for a baby and this, that, and the other. If Naomi can get back in time, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Naomi gets involved in that and maybe ends up costing Jade. And then basically her and Bianca turn heel on Jade. But I'm not sure how they would explain that because obviously Cargill's now heel, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And I think the other one's locked. I reckon it will be Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. Maybe they do a three-way with Stephanie Vickett. Don't laugh, lads, by the way. I meant the match before anyone says anything. Um, I reckon Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky, maybe versus Stephanie Vickett, unless you can get the belt off Vickett, because obviously her title run's been a bit in and out in itself. So Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, pretty much the top draw women's wrestlers at the minute. They're going to have to be in sort of like one of the, at least the semi-main events, I would have thought, but there we go. And I'll get onto the men's rumble in a moment. Have I mentioned everything about them? I did think there's an opportunity for maybe Natty to come in straight in to win. Look, I love the Natty Neidhart character. Not as in Natalia, the independent one that they've done. So that would be a pretty cool moment as well. I think that Natalia, to be fair, after all she's given WWE, would deserve it as well, but I can't see that happening. So yeah, I'm going to stick with Bianca Belair to win the Women's Royal Rumble. Let me have a look. What was your least favourite heel? My least favourite heel. You've got me stumped there, mate, no? My least favourite heel. I mean, I've seen some shit people who are meant to be heels, who I just didn't think were very good wrestlers. I don't want to pick on this guy, but there was a lad called Mason Ryan who wrestled in NXT. You remember when they had NXT and it turned into the Nexus? I mean, wow. I don't want to be rude to the bloke, but yeah. There's another lad called Rob Terry, and I feel really bad about saying that because he's one of our British lads as well. Lovely bloke, but just couldn't wrestle. Terrible. Absolutely awful. If you're talking about someone, Mr. Him, who I hated legitimately, as in legit hated, Triple H really got on my nerves back in the day when they were doing not the Authority, but when they did the I don't think it was called the Authority back in the day, but basically when Trip won the strap, and then they revealed that she's actually her and Steph have got together, and then DX came back as heels. I want to say about 1999, 2000 or something like that. That got on my nerves because it was just week after week, and I was like, why does Triple H keep winning? Because I was only about 18 at the time. I was like, I don't want Triple H to win. It's getting really annoying. And since later now, obviously, I've become an adult. I'm like, that was the reason, wasn't it? They were trying to annoy me, and they did a very, very good job as well. So he got on my nerves very, very much, which is good because he's doing his job at the end of the day. Who else from back in the day? Flair had a habit of annoying me, but that was because he was. I mean, Ric Flair's one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. Top two for me. Shawn Michaels is my favourite professional wrestler of all time. But yeah, Flair got on under my skin a fair few times as well. I'm trying to think when I was a kid if there was someone that really annoyed me back in the day. When I was a kid, I didn't like the $1 Million Man. He really annoyed me. But I'm still like that now. I don't like rich arseholes, basically, rubbing other people's faces. That was probably the reason, even from an early age. I've always been a working class lad, so that sort of thing. I'm just like, yeah, you and me are going to get on, son. To be fair. Right, we've got Dragunov versus The Miz going on at the minute. Oh, that surprises me, dude. Mr. Kennedy hated his entrance. Mr. You see, I didn't mind it that much. Not the Mr. Kennedy one, but when Mr. Kennedy became Mr. Anderson in TNA, I quite like the way they did it there because obviously it was different ring music and stuff. I thought Mr. Anderson actually sounded better than Mr. Kennedy, to be honest. But there we go. So, Yeah, but a lot of people didn't like Mr. Kennedy, to be fair. One of my mates, again, uh, hated Mr. Anderson. We went to go and see a TNA house show many years ago, and I was a big Mr. Anderson guy, and he was just like, this guy is it, basically. And I was just like, oh, I like him. It's like, I don't know what it says about me, but there we go. But yeah, I can understand that, dude, to be fair. Um, yeah, that's probably about it. To answer your question, mate, probably in terms of work, probably Triple H, but I mean, like I said, I don't want to pick on. I think mainly it's the wrestlers who are bad wrestlers that just annoy me. No, it's no fault of their own, but like I mean, some of the ones that WWE have had in over the years are just like, how did this bloke get past developmental? You know what I mean? But there we go. Hi Lolly, how you doing? You all right? Where am I from? I am from Leeds in England. Yeah, I was going to say something profound then, but yeah. No, I'm from Leeds in West Yorkshire, in the wonderful United Kingdom at the moment. So yes, yes, welcome. Um, yeah, just very quickly, guys, because I've been waffling on for an hour. Right, just to get to the end. So in terms of the men's rumble, right, this is the one that's driven me up the wall. This has driven me up the wall. So I've written in lots of Substacks. I actually did a whole plan from the Raw WrestleMania. I mean, as in Elimination Chamber, who's going to face who, this, that, and the other. And it was this. I mean, I didn't even write the Substack article for people to read it as enjoyment. It was just for me to get all this crap out my brain, basically. I must have rewritten the main event for WrestleMania about 50 million times. It's got to the stage, look, I haven't got a clue anymore. I have not got a clue. So I've gone through the possible people. I've got Gunther, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes. I reckon Bron Breakker's got a chance. Randomly, I think Logan Paul is an outside if you really want to piss people off. Because if Logan Paul goes to the main event and wins, I mean, the heat he's going to get, I mean, people will be going mental, including my son who hates Logan Paul. He's actually got a picture of him that he kicks, which I probably shouldn't encourage, to be fair, but you know, if he uses his energy positively, then fine. But yeah, I think Logan Paul potentially. I think if they do the angle where Gunther retires AJ, there's still an outside chance that AJ could win, but then only have the one match left at WrestleMania, if you see what I mean, kind of thing. So he retires, but he's got the one more match, and maybe he wins the title or something on the lines. I just think that'd be quite interesting. I can't see that happening, but maybe. Finn Balor, after all the stuff with Punk, I think that's a bit too late on in the day. The only other one as a random shout that I could think of might be Joe Hendry. And the only reason I say that is obviously WWE needs to start building stars, and you can see obviously they're doing that with Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, um, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, and so on and so forth, because obviously the roster is getting older, so they are going to have to develop new stars. Obviously, they've lost John Cena, AJ's going, Punk's not getting any younger, and so on and so forth, so they are going to have to start building for the future. So maybe. I mean, if Joe Hendry won, the internet would just break basically. So, maybe possibly him, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's have a look. Is Patrick Bamford Leeds' greatest ever player on an unrelated subject? Uh, I wouldn't know, mate. I'm not a Leeds fan. I'm definitely not a Leeds fan after this season either. I don't care if the locals are angry with me. My missus is actually a Leeds fan, dude, funnily enough. So my mum's a Leeds fan, missus is a Leeds fan. My son's half and half to try and keep the peace. So he's like a half Liverpool fan, half. Well, in saying that, because he's not interested in football at all, but he does get very interested when a trophy turns up, and then he'll like, "Yay, Daddy, we won!" And I'm just like, "Wow, I've raised a glory supporter, brilliant." Is Patrick Bamford actually? I'll try and answer that. Is he greatest ever player? He's not the greatest ever player. Who would I say is Leeds United's greatest ever player? Well, I'm very biased. So you can probably take a guess who I think is Leeds United greatest ever player. No, I can't give it to you, Boa. No, your Boa was brilliant, but I can't say he's the greatest ever Leeds player. God rest his soul, Gary Speed's a shout. Gary Speed was brilliant. I know ended up playing for Everton, but what a yeah, it's still heartbreaking now. What an absolute gentleman. Absolutely, he was a lovely, lovely bloke as well, Gary Speed. Fantastic footballer, eye for a goal, great tackler, great passer, just an absolute legend. And I can still remember that morning getting the news. Yeah, it was awful, absolutely awful. Yeah, shout out to Gary Speed and his family. It was just absolute tragedy. I'd say Gary Speed. I didn't see people like I was going to say Norman Whiteside. He's bloody Man United, isn't he? What am I on about? I didn't see people like Billy Bremner, obviously, because I didn't grow up in that era. I might go with Speedo actually. Honestly, David Batty back in the day, he was really, really good player. Really, really good player. Rod Wallace, he was another one. I wouldn't say he was Leeds' greatest of all time or anything. That side that Leeds had in 1992 was very, very underrated championship winning side. Very, very good players. So they used to have players like obviously Gordon Strachan, Mel Sterland. Who else played? John Kitch, Tony DeRigo. Lucas Radibi actually, he wasn't in the title winning side, but he was a very, very good footballer. Excellent, excellent defender. And then obviously Leeds had that side when I went to uni. So obviously they had what, Lee Bowyer, Jonathan Woodgate, obviously Robbie Fowler at one point, Rio Ferdinand, Michael Bridges, Robbie Keane. That was an absolutely brilliant side. But no, I'm going to go with Gary Speed, just out of respect to him, because he was what a fantastic, fantastic bloke. But there we go. Alan Smith. To be honest, I'm him. I'm going to swerve that question just in case there's anyone from Leeds who is watching, because I don't want to have my windows put in. Would you believe to this day the locals have still not literally, they've still not forgiven him all these years later? I mean, some of the comments I hear about Alan Smith to this day, like, I remember when he left, and obviously he's. I mean, you when you live in your city, you hear rumours and everything, don't you, about the city that you live in? I mean, some of the rumours I heard back in the day about like Smithy's parents having to move houses and stuff because there were people on about firebombing. I mean, look, I know we've all got rivalries in football, but firebombing his parents' house and this, that, and the other, that's just not on. It's not for me. If you want to call him a W when he's on the field, then fine. But like trying to attack his parents' house, that is completely uncalled for, in my opinion. But there we go. Billy Bremner. Well, dude, again, I never saw that. I never saw that Leeds team, unfortunately, so I can't really. Obviously, I'm aware of Billy Bremner, and I, my main memory of Billy Bremner is that famous footage where him and Kevin Keegan are swinging actual punches at the Charity Shield, and like you show some of the younger people now, they're like, did people used to have fights on the football field? And you're like, yeah, this went on all the time. This went on in the early 90s. You know what I mean? People just go around kicking each other and no one paid blind bit of notice. I mean, now, bloody hell, some fella falls over a blade of grass and you can get sent off for running past him with a gust of wind. You know what I mean? So there we go. Yeah, in terms of who's going to win, just very quickly, I'm going to go with Gunther, Roman, Brock, Cody, or Bron Breakker. Those would be my guesses. I'm going to go with. See, this is a bit of a cop out. If Gunther loses to AJ Styles, then Gunther wins the Royal Rumble. Basically, it's as simple as that. It will just be what they did with Chris Jericho back in the day when they had Jericho lose the title, but then he won another title on the very same pay per view. I can't remember that. I think he. No, that was it. He lost to Shawn Michaels in the ladder match, and then he got entered in. I think it was like a 6-pack challenge or something like that, and it was that famous bit where Batista was going no when he couldn't quite get the stop him from winning the title. So I reckon they might do that with Gunther if he loses to AJ. If Gunther beats AJ, I reckon AJ comes up and basically wrecks the whole thing for him. In that case, I reckon Roman Reigns. My working theory is WrestleMania was going to be Roman Reigns against CM Punk. But I mean, this is the trouble. There's so many places they could go with. You could have Roman versus Punk. You could have Brock Breaker. You could have Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn or Drew. I've got here Lesnar versus Punk, Lesnar versus Roman, triple threat, Cody Rhodes versus Punk versus Cody. Rhodes versus Punk versus Roman, even, which would be really good. Or maybe Gunther versus Punk. It's going to be some combination of all of that, basically, but I just can't work it out. So I'll go with Roman Reigns, I think, is what I'm actually going to go for, guys, to be honest. In terms of returns, I think this is the last thing I was going to talk about. So we know that Obafemi obviously is going to debut. I'm not thrilled, and I'm definitely not here for Brock Lesnar being announced randomly on Pat McAfee's phone. That was just like, especially with Triple H, that surprises me that he would have let something like that slide. I mean, again, it's on ESPN, and McAfee's show is one of the highest rated in America and all over the world. So I can understand why they did it for the publicity, but like, I just don't think that was necessary at all, to be honest. I was a bit disappointed in that. But we know Obafemi's going to be in it, excuse me. In terms of people who could date, I reckon Joe Hendry is definitely going to be that. I definitely think that's going to happen. Seth Rollins, could he be fit for it? Maybe they could do a John Cena, because obviously there was that famous Royal Rumble where John Cena wasn't due to be at the Rumble, and he somehow got back like 3 months ahead of schedule, potentially. I think there's a more than average chance that Kevin Owens may be back, possibly. In terms of a legend, I actually threw out Ken Shamrock the other day, because obviously Ken's one of the only ones they've never brought back. I mean, obviously I know Ken's getting on now, but I mean, he's still in absolutely fantastic shape, to be fair to Ken Shamrock. So maybe Dave Bautista, I can't see it, because obviously he's just like world famous actor now, so I just can't see that happening. Bubba Ray Dudley, I reckon, is a possibility. Karrion Kross, I think it's 50-50. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he turns up. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Karrion Kross, to tie a little bow on it, might end up coming back and costing Sami Zayn, because he obviously beat Sami Zayn obviously beat Karrion in his last match in Saudi, I think, if I'm not much mistaken. So maybe that's the way they could tie it all together. I didn't mention Randy Orton, actually. I suppose he's a possibility to win, but I just can't see it, to be honest. I think Randy. I wonder if Randy might do like an inverse Undertaker from now on. So obviously last year he had the match against Joe Hendry, which was like a surprise kind of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe that's what they do with Randy from now on. Maybe do like a surprise entrance. Like a surprise opponent. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. My only other one, well, actually, there's 3. Could The Rock be there? Obviously, without getting into the politics of it all, the Saudis have got a pile of money, a big pile of money, and if they were to throw, look, The Rock doesn't need the money for obvious reasons, because he's probably one of the richest men in the world. But at the end of the day, people always want more money, and if the president of Saudi Arabia basically says, Dwayne, 10 minutes of the Rumble, here's $500 million, then The Rock is going to be, basically. But do I think The Rock will be there? I wouldn't have thought so. I think he's filming it. I think he's doing that Scorsese thing pretty soon, so maybe he might even not be available, who knows. Edge, I still think Adam Copeland's under contract with AEW, but obviously you don't know. And then obviously the standout one is Chris Jericho. Do I think Chris Jericho is going to debut? No, not debut. Do I think Chris Jericho will be in the Rumble? I actually think he's going to be. I reckon Jericho is going to be in the Royal Rumble. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. It's a huge loss for AEW, obviously, but look, they've got stars coming out the wazoo now. So yeah, maybe it might be good all round. It'll be a huge thing for Jericho. I mean, maybe he's another one that Gunther can retire. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe that's what they're just going to do with all these wrestlers now. And yeah, that's about it, folks, to be honest. So, cannot wait for the Royal Rumble tomorrow. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Really looking forward to it. Just very, very quickly, let's have a look. Were you? Oh, was I a prime Cristiano Ronaldo fan back in the day? Oh, definitely not, mate. No, definitely not do. No, obviously, no. Obviously, it goes without saying Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the greatest football players that's ever played the game. As much as I don't particularly like the bloke for obvious reasons, um, look, even as a Liverpool fan, I'm not going to say he's not. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the greatest players of all time, and look, I know a lot of people don't like him, including myself. But if you can't sit there and say he's not, because I mean, he plainly is. I mean, he's got to be top 10, at least bare minimum, if not top 5 for me. Lionel Messi is the best professional footballer I've ever seen play football. And it's not just because the rivalry of being a Liverpool fan. Just personally for me, I remember seeing Leo. I want to say it was Barcelona against Arsenal. I think Barca beat Arsenal maybe 4-1 in a last 16 match. I think it's when they won a European Cup. I can't remember now, but I think Leo scored all 4 goals, if I'm not much mistaken, or got a first half hat trick. And literally, dude, it was that first half was one of the finest individual performances of professional football that I've ever seen on TV. It sensational. I've never seen anyone before or since play football like Lionel Messi. Obviously, I never had the pleasure of seeing Pele. I did. I'm young enough. I'm sorry, young enough. I'm old enough to have seen a bit of Diego Maradona. In fact, I think I watched the '86 match with England and Argentina with my dad, or more likely, I think I just kept disturbing my old fella when he was just trying to have a beer and watch the football in peace and quiet. But I can just about remember the kick-off with Maradona, obviously, when he did the Hand of God and all that. Did I see that? I'm fairly sure I watched. I think I saw the goal where he basically beat the entire England side. And obviously, I saw a bit of Maradona at Napoli as well, but I didn't see him much as I would have liked. But from what I've seen, he was a tremendous, tremendous footballer. I used to love Dennis Bergkamp as well, even as a Liverpool fan. Yeah, absolutely just fantastic footballer. Andre Pirlo. One of my other favourites was Alessandro Del Piero, who used to play for Juventus. In fact, he's probably in my personal top 10. I thought Del Piero was an absolutely magnificent footballer. Obviously, Gianfranco Zola. A lot of the Italian players do, to be honest, from back in the day, because Serie A used to be so, so good back in the day. I used to watch it on Galazzo on, I think it was Channel 4. So I used to watch Maldini, Baresi, obviously George Weah, Aspria before he went to Newcastle, obviously Gabriel Batistuta, Francesco Totti, all them people. I used to love Serie A back in the day. It was so, so good. But yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah. That's fine. That's fine, dude. That's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Yeah, it was crazy. Did you watch any games in person? What was in Barca? No, unfortunately not. I'll just call you no. Unfortunately not. No. I think I tried to read your name the other day, didn't I? Sorry, like I say, if I'm getting it wrong, legitimately my glasses. I need to go and get new glasses. I can see about this much. Like, to here, basically, and my camera stands basically there. So, no, I never got the pleasure of seeing Lionel Messi in person, but I would have loved to have seen him. Yeah, just an absolutely. I think one of my favourite moments of Messi, I want to say it was Barcelona versus Getafe, and it's the one where he picks the ball up just outside the D of Barca's area and basically just ran through the whole team. Beat, what, 10 players, and then just literally it wasn't like anxious to like, oh, I've got to finish this off now, I just need to get any shot off possible. He literally ran through all of them, literally just calmly slotted it past whoever it was. There was another one where I think it was Barca versus Bayern Munich, and he just took the absolute mick out of, like, these are German international defenders, like Boateng, and I can't remember who else was it for Bayern back in the day. Thomas Muller and people like that, and he just literally took the piss out of them. He was, yeah, he's just. I mean, obviously, he's still a very, very good footballer now, but he was. That Barcelona team is my favourite team of all time. So basically Barca between 2009 and maybe 13, I think, something along those lines. Yeah, no, it's just an absolutely superb football team. Would have been a crazy thing to witness, especially his free kicks. Yeah, that would be one of my regrets, mate. Not seeing Lionel Messi. I mean, you never know. I suppose he could still end up in the Premier League, but I mean, I can't. Arne Slot gets annoyed with Mo Salah not tracking back. I dread to think what you think about Lionel Messi, to be fair. But yeah, there's probably obviously that ship has sailed sadly. But yeah, no, absolutely superb. Mm. Hello, yeah, how are we doing? You're all right. Congratulations, buddy. What a match. Super stoked for you. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, you might have seen from my videos the other day. Yeah, I was, I'll just say I was very happy. I'd been, I think I started drinking because I had the day off work and I had the day off after that. I want to say I started drinking at 4:30, about 3.5 hours before the match started. So if I looked quite happy, there was a reason. I'll just leave it at that, basically. But there we go. Never too late. Yeah, never too late. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, no, honestly, I know this is meant to be the rest of the one, but the boys played really well. They played really, really well the other day. I was delighted for Fede Chiesa. I thought just the way he took the goal and like the way he just smiled and everyone came to hug Fede, and that made the night for me. It was so good. Like, I really like Federico Chiesa. I actually disagree with a lot of the Liverpool fans. I actually think he's more than good enough to play for the club. I don't get this whole he's obviously just not good enough. Sorry, I just don't agree at all. I think he's really good, and he's just been very unfortunate with injuries. At the end of the day, look, the man scored 5 goals and assisted 5 with what, 2 starts and maybe 15 substitute appearances. I mean, if you put all Kaiser's minutes together, I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a goal and assist every 1.5 games, maybe every 2 games, which is, I mean, for a bloke who's on the bench, I mean, you can't really ask much more than that. To be honest. The same thing that we've got with Endo, to be honest. Yeah, that really annoys me as well. You've probably got it for the same thing with Arsenal because you've always got the fan base making the right minds up about players. And the stick that Endo gets, I'm just like, what, am I missing something here? Like, the bloke gives his heart and soul every time he plays. He was excellent the other day as well. So, I don't know, I just think a lot of football fans are, I was going to say stupid, but that's not going to insult my own fan base. Misinformed, we'll go with, there we go. He might, Messi, make it up, would be amazing. Oh, dude, that would be all. I'd love to see Lionel Messi play in the Premier League, even if it was only for a few months. I mean, you never know. I mean, it's a good point, actually. But, I mean, his contract must be up at. I've completely got where he plays for now. Is it? Is it LA Galaxy? It's not LA Galaxy, is it? Miami. What's it called? Miami Vice. My God, Jesus Christ. It's getting really late, folks. Miami Vice. Good grief. Um, I mean, I'd take a punt on him. I mean, 6 months of Lionel Messi on a loan. Why not? You know what I mean? It'd be really, really good. Um, yeah, yeah, that's going to throw me off now, to be honest. But there we go. Um, right, guys, that's pretty much it from me. Um, Yeah, sorry, that's really thrown me off, folks. You completely and utterly like thrown me off there. But yeah, basically that was my Royal Rumble preview show, basically. So thanks everyone for watching, basically. Just to let you guys know what's going to be happening tomorrow, for anyone who wants to follow me or watch or whatever. Right, plan is Royal Rumble starts at. Oh, this is a thing as well, by the way. Speaking of football, guys, I have a slight problem tomorrow because the Royal Rumble that I've just been previewing is on at 7 o'clock, and the main Royal Rumble is probably on about 8 o'clock. Do you know what else is on tomorrow at 8 o'clock? Liverpool versus Newcastle. Yeah, I mean, obviously because I cover wrestling Liverpool, as you guys know, and talk about it as well. That is really, really super unhelpful. I was actually really pleased that the Saudi show was going to be at 7 o'clock. I thought, oh, brilliant! I can watch this. I can do my live reaction, and for once, I could, because I'm a boring old man, I can actually go to sleep on a Saturday night for a change at like 11:15 or something stupid like that. And then I looked at the fixture list and I was just like, oh Jesus, we're playing Newcastle at the same time. So, there is a reason I'm telling you that, folks. So I think what I'm going to do, and this is going to make me sound like a really, really bad supporter. I think I'm going to watch the Rumble live purely for the fact my son likes the wrestling as well. So I've kind of got to watch it with him. And he's not so keen on football. So I'm going to watch the Rumble first, and then I'm going to attempt to watch the Liverpool match on delay and hopefully not find out what the score is. This is not the best plan in the world, because if this was the 90s, I could easily avoid a football score because all you had to do was not turn your TV on. Now you get people shouting it down the street, you get alerts on your phone, on your bloody laptop, and all sorts of. Long story short, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I will probably end up watching the Rumble and just having the Liverpool match just on my phone in the background. So, yeah. So I'll be doing live reactions to the Royal Rumble tomorrow night, and then I'll do like a show for the Liverpool match probably the next day. My vaunted wife has told me that her and my lad are going out, so I might even do it in the middle of the day when they've both gone away, basically. So, God, I sound so horrible, don't I? So yeah, the Newcastle reaction, basically, long story short, that'll be on the Sunday, and then it will be back to normal next week. So I'll be doing live reaction to Monday Night Raw, which is usually on the Tuesday. AEW Dynamite on the Thursday. Friday Night Smackdown on next Saturday. And then next Sunday we're playing Manchester City, which I think, yeah, we'll be very interested in for obvious reasons. So I'm going to the public house again for that one, but only for a couple of drinks because I've got work the next day. So I will probably do the wrap up of the City game about 10:30ish on the Sunday night, something along those lines. So yeah, that's everything I've got coming up, basically, long story short. But yeah, I will be back on for the Royal Rumble live reaction tomorrow, probably about 11 o'clock, give or take. But yeah, just keep an eye out for your alerts and all that young people stuff, basically. Let me have a look. He is decent. I think so. Yeah. Like I said, I think Federico Chiesa. I think he's done really, really well. Really, really well. I mean, his career could have been over last year. No, sorry, not his career, but like, I mean, he could well have given up at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, he's now done some decent stuff for Liverpool. You know what I mean? So, oh, here we go. RKO. There we go. Yeah, I'm just watching the last match on Smackdown. Oh, here comes Logan Paul. Super kick from Jey Uso. Breaker. Crossroads from Cody. And Bronson Reed just attacked Cody. Anyway, sorry. Let's have a look. Havertz all the time. Primarily, he's been injured a lot for the season. He's epic. Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he? Havertz, very, very good footballer. Um, I actually think, to be honest, you know better than me, yeah, but like, I actually do wonder whether Kai Havertz might start. I know he kind of plays in midfield in the pockets and stuff. I wonder if he might start transitioning into like a central midfield, not a central midfielder, but like a bit of a Roberto Firmino, basically. So maybe he might start dropping back as he gets a little bit older, because obviously he's got the passing range and everything, hasn't he? So yeah, no, he's a very, very good footballer, Kai Havertz, to be fair. Sorry, to go back to wrestling. Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, don't worry about it. That's absolutely fine. Yes, Paul, I did see that comment, by the way. Um, that was yes, very strange. What the hell is this? Who's this? Right, Drew McIntyre was about to hit Sami Zayn, and now we've got Jacob Fatu. Oh, in fact, folks, I'm just going to pause that. Just bear with me a second, because I just want to see that last bit. Yeah, there we go. Rice might have an issue with that. Yeah, he might do it. I definitely not now, obviously, because I mean, I'm guessing Havertz is still, what, 25, 26, 27 years old. I'm just thinking maybe I can see him doing a bit of a Paul Scholes, so when Scholes had to drop back as he got a bit older, obviously John Barnes did the same thing, and Wayne Rooney to a certain extent. I'm just thinking maybe he might do that quarterback thing maybe a bit later in his career, but who knows. Um, Come on, Liverpool. Yes, I thought you might say that. Do you know what, randomly, just a little bit. By the way, anyone who's listening on podcasts, I do apologise that this is turned from wrestling into football, but that's how my shows work. I like talking about different things, so yeah, I'm tough, basically. That doesn't help me sell myself, does it? Anyway, I've completely forgot what I was going to say now. No, that's completely disappeared. There we go. Sorry, everyone. You don't have to say sorry. You don't have to say sorry. No, that was it. Yeah, I was just going to say, because it's maddening with Liverpool at the minute, it really does get on my nerves. So, obviously, we're beating yourselves. Newcastle away from home, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Aston Villa. We've just demolished a. I mean, obviously, Karabag aren't the best team that I've ever seen, but you have got to give them respect. They're a Champions League qualifying football team who have made the last 16s. You've got to give them credit, and we've just absolutely mullered them, right? Then last week we go to Bournemouth. The other week we went to Brentford. The other week we went to Crystal Palace and we got absolutely hammered. And I'm just like, I don't understand. I don't understand how a football team can be so inept as they can completely outplay Real Madrid and make them look like a bunch of mugs for 90 minutes, and then just be outplayed by Bournemouth, who basically had their second string team. Honestly, it's just this season for Liverpool now is basically it's a waste. It's a complete waste. It didn't need to be like this at all. Obviously the lads have not done. Obviously the lad, I give the lads a bit of leeway, because at the end of the day they had to bury one of their own friends at the start of the season. I do think there's a lot of Liverpool fans and supporters who need to remember that. I still miss Diogo now as it is. I mean, I cannot imagine how horrendous. I mean, obviously not as much as his family and his wife, it goes without saying, but um, for some of those players to just carry on playing without one of the best friends is, look, that's not an easy thing to do at the end of the day. So yeah, I'll give them a bit of leeway, obviously, but I mean, in general, the performances haven't been good enough. I mean, there's not really much for a point in arguing, but I think you'll get over the line. I quite fancy Arsenal tomorrow, because obviously Arsenal are In fact, yeah, unfortunately for you, just down the road here, Arsenal Football Club will be playing football. Literally like half a mile away from my house, funnily enough. But there we go. Hey, Mo, how we doing, mate? You're all right. But yes, I will be. I might see Mr. Havertz. Yeah, basically. Oh no, I won't actually. I've got to take my son to his nan's house. So this is like normal people stuff. That's my that's my day tomorrow. I'm taking my son to McDonald's that he doesn't know about yet for his treat. Then taking him to his nanny's. And then bringing him back just in time for the Royal Rumble. So that's my day tomorrow. There we go. The joys of being a parent. No, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. But yeah, no, I reckon. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Do I? What was I going to say about Arsenal? Yeah, no, I can't see Leeds laying a glove on Arsenal because I think Arsenal will win about 2 or 3 nil. I would have thought. Funnily enough, Manchester City are playing Tottenham. I think on the same day, so that could be quite amusing. Moat WWE. Yes, I've just been talking about WWE Moat for literally an hour, and my voice is actually going at the minute. But if you want a quick synopsis, basically I've done my Royal Rumble predictions. So I'm going for Drew McIntyre to beat Sami Zayn. I'm going for Bianca Belair to win the Women's Royal Rumble. I'm going for Gunther to retire AJ Styles, but then AJ Styles to knock out Gunther of the Rumble as his last act, kind of thing. And I'm going for Roman Reigns to win the Royal Rumble. That's my predictions, which are probably completely, utterly wrong. Like, literally, I've been sat here talking about wrestling for nearly 2 hours. And probably everything I've said is going to be completely and utterly wrong. I mean, it's probably going to be some random person like Tozawa that wins it. Now, I've said all that, but no. In terms of the men's rumble, mate, like I was saying earlier, I can't see past Roman, Cody, Breaker, Lesnar, or Gunther. It has to be one of them. I mean, I suppose it could be Logan Paul maybe at a push, but I don't think it's been featured heavily enough. It's got to be one of them fives for me. And it's the same thing with the women as well. So you've got Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, who else did I say earlier? Obviously Bianca Belair. I think Tiffany Stratton's a really good shout as a return. I think Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, I think she might debut tomorrow. That's my random prediction. Would she win the whole thing? I can't see it, but yeah. I'm going to go with Bianca Belair and I'm going to go with Roman Reigns. Just to finish it all off too, basically. Have a lovely day tomorrow with your family. Come on, Liverpool. Come on, you Gunners. Arsenal, yay. I'm sure I will, yeah. I'm sure I will. No, it'll be a good day. I can't wait for the Royal Rumble. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. But yeah. Yeah, night, yeah. See you soon. Lovely to speak to you again as always. Take care. Right, guys, speaking of which, I've basically, not that you guys need to know this, last time I ate was about 12 hours ago. So I need to go and get some food. I'm going to enjoy a lovely night. I'm going to have a few drinks and I'm going to get... You a goon? No, not an Arsenal fan, mate. The Mighty Reds. There we go. But yeah, folks, I literally am completely starving and it's been a very long day, so I'm going to bid you all good night. And yeah, like I said, just to let you guys know, I'll be back on tomorrow night after the Rumble, so hopefully around 11 o'clock, give or take. So I'll be back this time tomorrow and we'll talk about this all over again. Right, cool. Nice one, guys. Have a fantastic Friday night. Have a great weekend. Thanks all of you for watching. It's been really cool. Love speaking to all of you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.